It's a pretty nebulous concept. Can you define in simple layman's terms what a DMS actually is? Welcome to another video with another industry expert for our dealer audience. Today we're here with Kevin Scott from Wayne Reaves Software to talk about dealer management systems. So Kevin, to just kind of launch off, you could
Sure.
tell us your name, what you do, and a little bit about the product Wayne Reaves Software.
Yeah. So my name's Kevin Scott, and I come from a history in the car business. My dad got started in the car business back in the 60s.
Your dad, Don Scott, right?
Don Scott is
who
my dad.
A lot of people know, yeah.
Yep, he's past president of the Dealers Association and quality dealer, and spent many years working in the dealership with him, had my own dealership, and then due to some health reasons and stuff, got out of the car business about 10 years ago or so, and at that point opened my own company, Dealer Consulting LLC, and came aboard with helping Wayne Reaves
Excellent.
Software.
Okay, excellent. So tell me a little bit about Wayne Reaves Software. You know, today we're going to be talking about dealer management systems and the pros of what they kind of bring to the business. So what is Wayne Reaves? How did it come to be?
Yeah. So Wayne, it's kind of father-son stories here. Wayne was a car dealer for many years in Macon, Georgia.
Okay.
And had dealerships and put on buy here, pay here seminars and such. And over the years, developed a system, Wayne Reaves Software, really just to compute interest and make sure he was not charging too much interest based on the year of the vehicle.
Yay for compliance, right?
That's it. Wayne Reaves Software has always been very heavily involved in education, and so Wayne was involved in pre-license classes in the state of Georgia.
Okay.
He developed the software in order to help dealers stay in compliance himself and his own dealership, and then it grew from there. The company originally started officially in 1987.
Oh wow! So a little bit of time then that they've
A little
been
bit of
around.
time, yes.
That's excellent. It's a pretty nebulous concept. Can you define in simple layman's terms what a DMS actually is?
Yes, and I'm not always clear on that because I assume everybody's been in the car business for decades. So a DMS is a dealer management system, and I like to think of it as no matter what industry you are in, there's probably some kind of software to assist you. Dentists, doctors, tag agencies, what have you. So for a car dealership, a dealer management system helps them with all aspects of their business. Most dealers do the same general things over and over. They buy vehicles, they repair them, they prepare the documents needed for that, and then they turn around and they sell them, and then oftentimes finance them. So a DMS helps you track all of that from start to finish and have all that data there for reports and information later on.
Okay, excellent. So it's kind of the central warehouse of all the things that are dealership.
It is, and perhaps most important, if I didn't say it already, is it produces nearly every form that the dealer needs. So most people end up going to find a DMS because when they get started in the car business, they go, where am I going to get all these forms from?
Right.
And rather than getting a piece from here and there in different forms that perhaps don't mesh, it's better to get a forms package, which usually comes from your DMS.
And so when you talk about a forms package, bill of sale, your DMV forms, you know, what all kind of would be like a typical form pack?
Sure. So you got all of your title forms, you got privacy forms, bill of sale, contract, arbitration agreement. Those all need to mesh properly, language-wise. Contracts, and there's a host of other things, GPS disclosures and recall notices and things like that.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about compliance and what that means. So I'm assuming that means not only, you know, making sure that your forms are accurate, but what are some other things that you mean by compliance?
Good question. Most of the dealers get into a dealer management system because they're looking at a way to get their forms, and so a DMS is where you usually get the majority of your forms. So a forms package, who's providing those forms and what attorneys are looking those over is very important. And then many other state and federal regulations get involved as far as interest rates, and specific to Florida, sales tax computations and figuring. We have the new Hope Scholarship Fund that has to be factored in as well.
All right, excellent. So it's really just kind of making sure, I'm not sure, not that I have infinite experience in a lot of different industries, but one of the things I'm constantly surprised about is the number of different regulatory and kind of just compliance issues that are imposed on the dealers to make sure that that you have to have this form filled out and this statement and this thing has to go here. And so really a DMS is kind of to help you make sure that you follow all those rules. You got somebody kind of looking over your shoulder and make sure that you're doing all that stuff.
Correct. I like to picture it like this. The DMS is a front-facing, easy-to-use interface, and then there's a lot of things that happen on the background. So when you're putting in the customer's name, the customer will automatically be checked against the OFAC list. If you're
I'm sorry, the OFAC?
OFAC, the Office of Financial Asset and Control, or some people call it the SDN, Specially Designated Nationals.
Okay.
Every customer sold a vehicle must have their name checked against that list.
To make sure you're not selling to a terrorist or something.
Suspected terrorist, yes.
Gotcha.
Sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say, well, we've talked about this a little bit, but maybe give you an opportunity to expound a little bit, but what are the main struggles that a dealership goes through that a DMS would help?
From start to finish, it comes with taking the application. So if you take the application through the DMS, you don't miss certain items that you need in order to get the customer financed. It will prompt you for the proper paperwork as you're doing a deal. And so there are many things that we as humans just forget or miss without a checklist. And so the DMS is a way to make sure that you follow all those steps and provide the forms that you need.
Okay, so when a dealership is considering to get a DMS system for their dealership, what are some of the key factors that they should look at?
One of the most important things perhaps to consider is that DMS residing on your computer, or is it internet-based, so where you have access to it from?
So either on a server or cloud-based, so that maybe you could access it remotely, right?
Correct, yes. Do you have to be at your dealership to actually access that, or can you be on vacation or at home or some other place to do that? The other key thing is training and education. A DMS is only as good as your ability to interact with it and learn all the functions that it has. So training is a big thing with us.
Okay, and so what kind of training do you guys have? Is it in person, videos? What kind of training?
Yeah, multiple things. We have virtual training where the customer can log in and watch videos, interactive videos at their own pace. We have live classes that they can attend. We have them on a regular basis in Florida, in Georgia, and other places. And then we also always, when the customer signs up with us, the dealer will have a set training time with one of our trainers that remotes into their computer, helps them set up all of their defaults and everything.
Okay, excellent.
And then, I'm sorry,
No.
ongoing support.
Yeah.
Anytime the dealer needs something, they pick up the phone and call. That's huge. When
Okay.
you have a customer sitting across from you, you can't be opening a work order or something like that.
Right. No, that's exactly right. So talk to me a little bit about the benefits of a DMS for, say, a smaller dealership versus a larger dealership. You know, if I'm only selling 5 or 10 cars or 20 cars a month, is a DMS really right for my dealership?
Yes, I don't know how you'd run a dealership without a DMS or some way to help you with all the state and federal regulations. So DMSs used to be extremely expensive. They've come down in price. They're affordable for most all dealers. Sometimes dealers say, well, I don't do very many deals, therefore I don't need a DMS. But things change rapidly, and you're almost not in the groove, so to speak, on a regular basis if you're not doing as many deals. So a DMS can help you there.
So Kevin, it's difficult. You mentioned about the compliance issue, and if I have only a couple of deals that I'm doing per month, it's tough to deal with all the different kind of possibilities. We're a tag agents. We do thousands of transactions, and we still see stuff that we only see once in kind of a blue moon. So where does the DMS system come in with kind of helping you figure out what those unusual or transactions that you're not familiar with?
Yes, so the DMS, as the dealer enters information into the DMS can help you with decisions that you should know, but in case you miss something. So in other words, if you're choosing to do a particular type of deal, say it's a finance deal, then the DMS knows, oh, we need documentary stamp tax, that needs to go in the contract. If it's financed by an outside party, that company will pay the doc stamps. If it's financed by the dealer, the dealer will pay that, so it can help make decisions along the way.
So there's a little bit of logic built in.
Yes,
Okay.
there's a lot of logic. It's very
Right.
easy front-facing, but a lot of logic in the background.
Yeah, so that's good. It's almost like having a full-time compliance team on your staff.
Yes, we would like, we can't do all the thinking, but we do what we can.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. So let's look forward a little bit. So obviously, what we're looking for is what's coming down the road in 1 or 5 years. A big change that's happened in the industry, specifically in Florida in the last 2 years or so, has been the implementation of EFS with a lot of the digitization, I guess, if we're going to make up that word, of the process. So what other kind of changes do you see coming down? We see a lot of dealerships that are moving to 100% online, or eliminating some of their, customer service staff to be more, tech bot, chat bot kind of thing. So what do you see from your perspective of where the industry is going?
Well, it's changed a lot over the last 5 years. There's been many changes, and I just continue to see more and more. One of the biggest things are the integrations with other companies. One of the things to consider with a DMS is what integrations you have, or what other products may be involved that can assist you. Everybody is busy. There's not a lot of time for data entry, so the key is to enter the information once and have that information replicate out to the different places it needs to go. So in other words, can we push that data? A customer is in there, can we push that data to websites and other places for advertising? And then as applications come in on that vehicle, can we push those applications to other financing sources? So
give me a for instance there, because
Yes.
I'm hearing, using my data and pushing it out there, and so kind of give me a for instance. So let's say
Sure.
that, I traded in a Volkswagen Jetta, because I used to own a Volkswagen Jetta. Love that car. And so now you've got that Jetta on your lot. And so how are you going to use that data about that Jetta and possibly your customer base to, how does that fit together?
Okay, so one of the things, for example, so say you trade the vehicle in, and I want to get that vehicle into my inventory. You may use a phone app to scan the VIN number and decode information, and get that vehicle on my website and then into my DMS. And then there's some other customer that sees that vehicle out on the web, and they would like to buy that Volkswagen Jetta because you took such great care of it. So they may apply through an application through the website that comes down into the dealer's DMS. All that is handled securely. And then that is pushed to a financing portal of some sort, where the dealer can shop that customer at multiple finance institutions.
And that's
get them
good for the
financed.
customer as well, because now they're going to be getting a better interest rate.
Correct. Used to be a customer would go to a dealership, and the dealer just sent it to one place, his favorite finance place. Now it's more competitive, so the dealer and the customer has more options.
Okay, and then there's always the option of still financing it in-house as well. And so for our buy here, pay here customers, it still kind of fits into that.
Yes, then you have the whole collection module that follows in addition to that.
Okay, interesting. And so how does that, which of those pieces fall under the DMS, and which of those pieces are maybe, a different software company or vendor?
Well, so the DMS is kind of the central hub of all of that. So perhaps your DMS also has a website provider, so that may be a piece, or it may be a third party.
Okay.
The financing sources, there's what I call a portal company of sorts that is available there, and then third party finance companies, warranties, gap companies, all those would be integrations with your DMS.
Yeah, but really the kind of the hub and spoke model, the DMS is the hub.
It is.
And so everything has to plug
Yeah.
into that DMS. So it's really important that you pick the right DMS from the beginning.
It is, and it's important to think a little bit long term, because DMS changes are difficult. If you have a history of sales and inventory and accounts, and then you want to switch to a DMS later on, that can be problematic. So you got to think not just what is the best DMS today, but look out a little bit further there.
Okay.
One of the things that I see in the future is it's much more customer driven than it used to be, especially when it comes to subprime financing. Customers have more choices than ever, and we see dealers and companies catering more towards customers. One of our new integrations was with a company called CarPay, which provides buy here, pay here customers with their own online account, where they can log in and see their payment history and set up auto pay and get text reminders and things like that.
Okay, excellent, excellent. From our side, kind of where we see the future is the elimination of paperwork. Something that we're being very cognizant of, especially with the FS process kind of going all electronic now. So dealers have the ability to scan an entire deal and never have to actually physically enter a DMV office anymore, which is pretty nice. And so I know that there are a number of, everything you were talking about. The credit application can be all digital. It's even feasible that utilizing a DMS properly, that you can have a customer complete basically the entire process of buying a car before they ever actually arrive at your dealership. From our end, we definitely see a lot of the elimination of paperwork. And so I guess on the dealer side, it's going to be that DMS system that keeps all of those digital documents organized for compliance and just peace of mind and running a business.
Yeah, I think you're exactly correct. The future is paper going away. There have been, it's funny because I actually have screenshots of where we had it set up where customers could sign electronically years ago. And it was all developed on one of the first iPads and stuff like that. But it has not been implemented because some of the federal requirements for wet signatures and such. Yeah. And then also even if you can overcome some of those obstacles, especially with buy here, pay here dealers, if they want to sell those accounts to a third party, there are integrations where you can send those customers accounts and get bids to sell those accounts. Would that finance company accept electronic signatures?
Oh, interesting. Okay. So I do know that the state has talked about getting a waiver from AMVA, the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators, so that Florida no longer has to have a wet signature on the odometer disclosure. But as of right now, dealers still do have to have a wet signature on their odometer disclosure. Is that correct?
That is my understanding as of right now. That's where we're at.
So I guess maybe, Kevin, one of the last things I want to talk about are, you've got decades of experience in the dealer industry. And
showing my age now.
We're gonna add your dad's experience into that as well. What is the one or two key things, and it doesn't have to be related to the DMS, just running a dealership in general. A lot of the people that are going to be watching this video are either going to be new dealers that are just kind of entering into the marketplace. What would be a key piece of advice that you would have for them? What would you want them to kind of have as a takeaway?
Well, several key pieces. Be honest with all dealings with customers and your relationships and everything. You really make your money when you buy the vehicle. A lot of new dealers think that they're going to go to the auction and just buy them super cheap. You really have to do your homework. There are tools available for that to check values and history reports, and those should all be utilized to make a good buy. If you make a good buy and a good customer, that makes a good deal. If you've got a bad car and a good customer, it's bad, or a good car and a bad customer. So you need a good car, good customer, makes a good deal.
So Kevin, tell me, what really sets Wayne Reaves apart? Why should I, as a dealer, select Wayne Reaves? What's your guys' kind of thing?
So Wayne Reaves was a car dealer for over 20 years before he got into the software business. So Wayne has always said it's software by a car dealer for a car dealer. We're an internet-based software system. We also have other parts involved. So not only do we have the DMS, but also a website that integrates and a shop program as well.
Okay, excellent. So we talked a little bit about how our companies work together. Obviously, I've not known you for too terribly long. 3 years now, give or take. And so, one of the things that we appreciate about what happens from your software package is that dealers get all of the paperwork that they need before they bring it into our office. And so you guys make sure that they have, all the information filled out, that they have all the forms that they need. Frequently what we say is, okay, you need a form 82041 or 82040 or, an HSMV, DOR, whatever.
Right.
And they're like, what the heck is that? And so your guys' system is the one that they go into to pull down that particular form that we tell them that they need.
Correct. And one of the fabulous things is that in today's world, most everything is plain paper. So you have a duplex laser printer, plain old paper, and the DMS checks as you're putting things in to make sure they're correct. And then it takes that plain old paper, turns it into the HSMV, DOR, whatever form that is needed. the names go where they're supposed to, the figures go where they're supposed to, and then once it's all signed, it is scanned and uploaded to an EFS system.
Okay, excellent. Just to kind of wrap up, we talked today about the benefits of a dealer management system, how it really applies to every dealership, no matter the size. And you saw a couple of references to, the Dealers Association, to EFS vendors, and how all these kind of pieces work together. And so in future videos and other videos that we have, you'll see us talking to an EFS vendor, you'll see us talking to the president of the Dealers Association, and many other related industries. So we hope that you learned something today, and definitely check out Wayne Reaves Software and Kevin Scott. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, hey, appreciate it.